In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down Monster Energy and Kevin Peraza's video that came out 8 years ago titled Arizona Fire. This video features some of the most progressive park riding I have ever seen before, and I have 5 tricks in particular I'm going to be showing you, starting with this one right here. This is a 540 downside tail whip over a double transition box jump, but also if you look at this trick, you could actually argue it is a decade to 180, but I'm going to argue against that a little bit and call it a 540 downside tail whip, because if you see in the head-on angle, you can see the bike kicks out and it doesn't stay perfectly straight. If it stayed perfectly straight and he did a decade and then did a late 180, like, I think that would be more of an argument, but either or, the trick is absolutely ridiculous. So let's watch it again in slow-mo. You can see that he kicks around, catches that bike, and when he is rotating, he has to make sure his feet are on the pedals. He's landing with his front wheel first in that transition, which is terrifying, but of course, Kevin Peraza knows exactly what he's doing. He knew how to fix it. He put all of his momentum down there, landed so aggressively in that transition, but pulled it perfectly clean with such awesome Kevin Peraza style. And that's actually the first trick in this video, which is crazy to think about. There's a lot of amazing riding in this video, but I decided to pick my 5 favorite tricks, and I'm going to be breaking them down and telling you what's so crazy about them. So the next one I'm going to show you is something that might slip under the radar for a lot of riders just looking at it straight away, because there's so many amazing crazy tricks in it, but this right here is terrifying, and I would never want to do this, and I can't see anyone else signing themselves up to do this trick besides Kevin Peraza. And this is the trick right here. It is a 180/270 over a hip to fakie, and you can see he's doing it on the face of a sub box, so it's pretty much doing a nose 180 but on the face of a transition. Now what's so scary about that, if you see in this angle, he's got to make sure that his back wheel clears over the edge of that sub box so it doesn't clip right there, and he can get his back wheel into the transition. Timing is crucial on this trick, but also it is just terrifying. Like, I can't believe that he even signed himself up to do this one. The risk and the reward on that one, for me, I would never see the value. Like, that's a trick I'll be like, yep, no thank you. But Kevin is so good at doing the nose 360s, the G turns, all the nose stuff, and we're actually going to end this video with the craziest nose combination I think I've ever seen in BMX, and this came out in 2016, January of 2016, so he filmed this one in 2015, which is nuts to me. But let's watch this trick one last time. Watch the way he precisionally puts his front wheel on there, spins the back wheel around, lands it perfect. Unbelievable trick. Now the next trick we're going to be going over is such a Kevin Peraza trick. This is a wall ride to 180 downside tail whip on a concrete quarter pipe and wall combination. It's terrifying, and like Kevin Peraza doing this trick back in 2015, the end of 2015, is just crazy to me. Like, I can't believe it. So let's check it out. It's just perfect too. He does it absolutely perfect. I love the way he just stalls out, lets that bike come around, catches it, and then continues the rotation. And he lands it perfect, clean as could be. My favorite part about it though, you can see when he lands, he like stomps down, and that means that that trick meant a lot to him. That was something that was on his mind, something that he was battling right there. So breaking down this trick, just the precision of not only doing this trick, like, it's so difficult to do, to be able to get that wall ride, to be able to get that 180, that downside tail up going, but this is a smaller wall ride. Technically it's a 5-foot sub box, 5-foot wall ride that's kind of like in between. Like, nobody really wants to ride that as a sub box because it's so big and scary, but it's like a small wall ride where you actually have to fit in there. That actually limits this trick and makes it kind of difficult because he's got to do this thing quick. He cannot like air up and be able to float the trick around. Like, he has to be precise and hit off that wall. Look at that. He lands perfectly sideways on the wall. But immediately, he like wastes no time. He starts kicking that tail up and rotating around instantaneously. But the way he was able to connect, grab that bike, and land the trick is just absolutely perfect. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind trick, and it's amazing that Kevin Peraza thought to do that one. Now this next trick we're going to be going over is a trick that blew my mind the first time I ever saw it. Now this trick is done at Premise Park, and now this trick is absolutely insane. He does a flare flyout, and as he's doing the fake, he actually carves over towards the next transition where he initiates a cab, but what he does at this cab is insane. He does a decade out of it, and he does the decade the long way through the cab. So you can actually argue that this is like a 540 cab or it's a 180 cab, which is crazy. And this argument is just like the first trick we were talking about because the decade is involved. Technically, he does 540 rotation because of the decade and also with the initial 180 cab that he does. But if you actually look at where the bike goes, the bike only goes 180. So it's crazy that he does the 180 and the decade the same exact direction, which adds up to 540. But this trick is so crazy. Now, I want you guys to look at the back wheel while he's doing this decade. It barely leaves the ground. It is just floating above the coping the whole time. Now, what's so important about this trick is you need to ball up over the handlebars. You can see he puts his knees and his shins above that crossbar, and that's what makes his body ball up to be able to get that spin rotation. That is so crucial if you're doing decades like this. It's so important to do, and it's really difficult to do to get your body up there. You have to be very flexible and very confident in the trick that you're doing, but this trick is just so amazing. I love that he got both angles of it. I think it breaks it down so well. It's just so clean. It is just textbook Kevin Peraza once again. Such an amazing trick. And this trick would be my favorite one in this video if it wasn't for this next trick I'm going to be showing you. This is actually the banger of this video, and when I saw this for the first time, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, it was like seeing a trick that you always thought would be impossible on BMX come to life, and of course Kevin Peraza made it happen. Let's watch this trick right now. Oh my goodness. That is just the crazy. Still to this day, we're talking 8 years later, like, it is still mind-blowing that Kevin Peraza did this. He did a 180 to backwards nose wheelie to 180 downside tail whip out. That is so impossible. Like, that trick shouldn't have happened. Like, it's not supposed to happen. The way he was able to lock in that backwards nose and then be able to pop out and get that 180 downside tail whip is just crazy to think about. Like, this trick must have took him 100 times, and if it didn't take him 100 times, he is not human. I'm gonna go out there and say that. But I just love the way this trick flows. There is just so much in this trick that just is insane. Like, just to do a 180 backwards nose wheelie across that as far as he did is such an amazing move. Now, the fact that he's able to lock into it and then pop out of it and kick that downside tail and rotate his body around to meet up with it is just the craziest thing I've ever seen. I started this video saying that this is one of the most progressive park videos I have ever seen, and still to this day, watching this video, I have a hard time imagining that Kevin did this 8 years ago. And like, the style of this, it almost looks like a video that could have came out today and people would still have the same reaction to it. And that just goes to show how amazing of a rider Kevin Peraza is. Ever since he showed up on the BMX scene, he was doing his own style of BMX, his own style of tricks, and he made such an impact on the sport, and I'm just so grateful that I've been lucky enough to be able to share being on Vans and being on Monster with Kevin since he started riding professionally, and I get to see all of his riding firsthand, and it's been so cool to witness. It really has been. Kevin is such a dear friend of mine, and I get so excited to see what he's going to be coming out with next. And I'm actually going to be seeing Kevin this weekend, and a lot of you can see him as well if you guys are planning on going to the Monster Energy Supercross that is in Glendale, Arizona. I'm going to be heading out there to go and check out the BMX Triple Challenge and be able to see all my fellow Monster Energy BMX riders throw down on the BMX dirt jumps again. It's going to be epic. So if you guys are planning on going out there, please come say what's up to me. I love meeting all you guys from the channel. It is like one of my favorite things in the world. So don't be shy, come say what's up, and let's have an awesome weekend there. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you guys go follow Kevin Peraza's Instagram right now. I promise you, you will see more of the same that you saw in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.